clickable beta. Click list with graphic background.
Hello, everybody. This is Awesome Sauce Radio. I am your host, Blind Adam Wonders. Amazon set an alarm for 8:45 p.m. Amazon set an alarm for 8:45 p.m.
Second alarm set for 8:45 p.m.
Thank you, biatch. All right. Like I said, this is Awesome Sauce Radio. I'm your mentally undeveloped party host, the pimp of pimps, Blind Adam Wonders, the comic pimp, going cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. But before we get into the heart of the matter, before we see if any of my guests, are showing up, any of my cohorts, my co-conspirators, because I did send out emails, I want to give thoughts, prayers, positive vibes, healing energy to my Thursday night producer, David Howard, the Nemesis. Dave, I love you, man. I hope you get better soon. And I really don't wish what's going on with you with anybody. Thank you for your service to your country. Thank you for being a veteran. Thank you for being a writer. God willing, Space Monkeys will be published by the end of the year. But Dave, I love you, man. And that's like I said, everyone just MSSFC2 all over the internets. Love you, Dave, and then get better soon. Hopefully you'll be back making this stuff look sexy next Thursday night. Assuming we decide to have a show and not do an inventory show next Thursday night. But I also want to give to the sponsor, the official pizzeria, the Marco's Pizza. I'm just gonna see if people showed up.
Compliment post out of list with click button.
He wants the greatest pizza in all of Northern New Jersey.
Don't respond right away. Thank post graph button.
You go to DeMarco's Pizza, 1926 Unionary Road, New Jersey 07421 973 728 1344.
Button show screen. Live viewer comments. Out of list clickable main landmark button invite clickable button collapse present. Clickable button stop cam clickable button mute microphone clickable blind Adam clickable menu button sub menu more clickable button mute blind Adams clickable button exit solo layup clickable button remove blind Adam from.
I'd kick Blind Adam in the nuts, but after we kick Blind Adam in the nuts, squaw, you go to DeMarco's Pizza, you get yourself a slice, maybe with some pepperoni, maybe some pepperoni rolls, a calzone. They only have Coke products, unfortunately, but I guess Coke will do. Pepsi's what real pimps drink, but that's another story. You go to DeMarco's Pizza, 1926 Unionary Road, New Jersey 07421 973 728 1344. Tell them Blind Adam sent you, and you get a free order of garlic nuts. Because garlic nuts are awesome. And then, enjoy your pizza at DeMarco's Pizza, 1926 Unionary Road, New Jersey 07421 973 728 1344. Get a hot slice because it's nutritious and delicious. Tell Lou and Sage and everyone else that works there. Blind Adam says what's up. Get your garlic nuts. Yeah. Excuse me. I got the coffee burn. Also, she put this on her Instagram. And like I said, unfortunately, I don't have anyone to be my eyes to help me show it on screen. But
8:01 p.m. On notification. Whatnot. Now. At comics_elite is speech off.
If anyone gives two shits, Comics Elite is on live at Whatnot right now. Yeah. That Maria chick's kind of cute though.
Compliment post out of list click but link Nyobi graphic Nyobi Comics 8:01 p.m. Link button show comment on state link Nyobi graphic YouTube button start clickable button comment actions.
All right, and Niobe Comics and who's fucking Niobe is in his house.
Button will be basic. And if I don't respond, thanks for watching tonight. Post
Let's see if we can get Niobe in.
Button start comment.
Yeah, Maitland Ward, the award-winning adult film star. She's won AVNs. She's won XBiz. Rachel from Boy Meets World. Brave and Paul and the Restless. She's going to be at the Garden State Comic Fest June 28th, 29th, and 30th.
Button comment. Button show comment up screen. Live viewer stream yard out of clickable tab banners. Click mainland button invite guests. Clickable button collapse. Clickable button stop cam. Clickable.
I will have a full guest list and update on the Garden State Comic Fest in 2025.
Clickable button mute micro. Clickable blind Adam. Clickable menu button sub menu more. Clickable button mute blind Adams.
Hey Larry, I sent you the link, so if you want to hop on for a bit.
Clickable button exit solo lane. Clickable button stop cam. Clickable button collapse. Button invite guests. Button having issues. Complimentary landmark. Clickable tab selected.
All depends on the issues, but yeah, Larry, Niobe Comics, you got the link if you want to hop on. But Maitland Ward will be a guest at the Garden State Comic Fest, so I think I'm going to get me a booth there, and I'll have some prints, and we'll do some live podcasting, and maybe we'll throw an after party with some pizza, some strippers. I'll let the good times roll, yeah. You know, but yeah. You know, so basically.
Clickable post out of edit list with clickable button. Where did you send it? Niobe Comics 80. Where did you send it? Button show comment. Clickable button comment act button star comment out of list graphic YouTube.
Niobe Comics, I sent the via Messenger. Let me send it again. Hang on. Fuck whatnot. Open Gmail.
Navigation menu. Primary. Heading. Social. Prime. Insert navigation menu.
Navigation, my lord.
Social. Promotion. Day. Start. Spoon. Import. Send. Schedule. Outbound. Drafts. All mail. Spam. Trash.
We go to trash, my lord.
Navigation. Heritage auction. Merit man. Empty trap items. Empty merit. Heritage auction. Known me. Share this. Close.
Get into the link for Niobe Comics.
Reaction. V29 MRP chain alert. Chrome, Google, Safari, button. Address. Google Pro address toolbar. Open in Safari. Share button. Address.
Sharing, because sharing is caring, or so I was told.
Gmail, Messenger, Instant Messenger. Button.
Messenger.
Send. Media pre. Write a message. Search. Larry P. Hick. Rick Norman. Larry P. Hick. Rick Norman. JB Week Rick Norman selected. Search. Write a media pre-send button. Sending.
Niobe Comics, check your Facebook Messenger, bro.
Switcher. Gmail. Close Gmail. Close weather.
You know, but can I get something off my chest? You know.
Post a comment edit out of list with clickable button button show where did you send Niobe graphic awesome graphic button start button comment button live stream yard out of list clickable tab media clickable tab banner clickable tab select main landmark button invite guests but clickable button collapse clickable button stop cam clickable button mute micro clickable rebel comics clickable menu button sub menu more options clickable rebel comics.
What's up, Rebel Comics?
Clickable button mute microphone. Clickable button stop cam. Clickable button mic and camera set. Clickable menu button sub menu. Clickable button mute Rebel Comics. Clickable button add grouping unavailable. Out of grouping clickable blind Adam. Grouping unavailable. Out of grouping clickable button add Rebel Comics to stage. Remove Rebel Comics.
Hello.
Remove Rebel Comics from the stage.
Okay.
No, that's what it said. That's what the thing was telling you to do.
Oh.
Yeah. I can hear it talk to you. Comma, Rebel Comics. Larry on Facebook. Comma.
Oh, now you see the hell I go through.
Yeah, bro. Fuck. Jesus. What's going on?
To my living hell.
That's it, man.
Where I get like 8 different voices in my head at any given day. Between Meta and JAWS for Windows and Siri and every other talking device I use to navigate.
8:08 p.m.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Job.
Rude. So what's up, sir?
I'm just hanging out. I got this appointment in the morning where I got to flush out my system all night. So, I mean, I may bounce from here to the washroom a few times.
Sweet.
I mean, when you get my age, right? I'm 50 years old, Blind Adam, and they
Well,
gotta
I'm a year older than you, so I feel your age.
right. So they gotta check my colon every year. So I'm going through a colonoscopy, and I'm drinking like vile shit and like going to the toilet. I know it's the gory detail that everyone needs to know, right?
You're an ASR, so that's not
Well, this is
that's
it.
not the sickest, grossest thing that's ever been said on the show.
No,
No,
I mean, if I can't be truthful, then what can I be? Right?
No, you're not talking about giving apple green apple smoothies to people. Go on the Urban Dictionary. You won't like what you see. Trust me.
Well, I mean, I'm not allowed smoothies. I'm not allowed anything red or purple. I can have tea, water, apple juice, maybe a Sprite if I'm lucky because it's clear. I'm allowed to have like orange popsicles, a little bit of Jello, maybe some chicken broth if there's nothing floating in it. Like it was just pure broth.
Yeah, like I said,
But I mean, that will all end in another 12 hours, right? So in 12
Nice.
hours, I will actually be there.
and
And
Jello's
then,
big pimpin'.
then I'm gonna have a hell of a dinner tomorrow. Like when I wake up, I'm gonna be all hungry as shit, right? So
Nice. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I might want to take your prime minister's offer.
What's the offer? What's going on?
I heard a rumor that they were saying I tell you that Canada was giving is willing to give Americans a job and a house, and that's all you had to do is give up your American citizenship.
And that's the first I'm hearing of this. You know what I mean?
I know my
But
dad.
but
my
I
dad
do
worked-
know.
My dad
but-
said he
but-
saw,
but-
I'm not gonna put much stock into it because my dad said he saw it on TikTok.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're seeing something like even if it's a headline on an article, you gotta take these things with a grain of salt. I mean, there's so much. God, I hate to use the term, but for lack of a better term, misinformation out there.
You
know
can
what I
use
mean?
any word, any kind of language you want on here.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, as far as this whole Canada thing goes, we're never going to be the 51st state. I mean, come on, man, right? Like, we've been a nation now for hundreds of years. Like, one man with a dream isn't going to take us over.
Nice.
But we are looking for doctors. I mean, Canada is hiring doctors left and right. So if you are an American, you want to come to Canada and you want to be treated well, they'll treat you well.
Nice.
I mean, that I can tell you. I know we're searching for more doctors. We're always looking for more doctors.
That's true. How do you think the current tariff bullshit's going to affect comic books?
Well, it depends on how serious it is. So, I mean, every time I turn around, it's on, it's off, it's paused, it's on, it's this, it's that. Like something actually has to be in effect and be in effect for a few months for me to really judge the fallout of any of that.
Fair enough. Like I said, I just keep on hearing that rumors of price hikes across the board. Eventually.
Well, price hikes for what though? Comics, like what?
I've been hearing
depending
that
on the
as far as-
product, it's going to depend on the price hike.
Yeah, I definitely heard it for comics. I've had two online retailers tell me they're going to stop doing anything with new comics because of the tariffs and the.
Well, I mean, a lot of the new comics are printed in Canada, right?
Yep.
And so anything that gets transported to the U.S. from Canada that's over $800 is subjected to tariffs if it falls in the tariff category. That includes paper.
Yep.
Yeah. And I do think
does
comic book-
that include TP from my bunghole?
yeah, probably, man. I've been using a lot of that today.
I need TP from my bunghole.
Right. But look, in all seriousness, right? I do think comic book prices are going to go up, like just cover price, right? Like I think your
Yeah.
3.99s are going to be 4.99s, and I think your 4.99s are going to become 5.99s, and I think that's going to happen regardless of tariffs.
Yeah, I want to get. Yeah, as an indie publisher, how is just your opinion on the industry in whole?
Sure, ask me anything you want, brother. I'm good.
Just that's the
You're
game plan.
interviewing me. It's good.
Like I said, I apologize for the last minute. I wasn't expecting.
Hey, brother, look, I'm just hanging out, man. You said, hey, you want to come on?
Yeah, like I said, just basically, how do do you think there is a glut in the crowdfunding, kickstarting,
Do I think there's a
indie
what?
comic market at the moment?
Do I think there's a what though?
A glut.
What's a glut?
Like a ton. Every time I turn around, I see at least 3 new Kickstarters a day now.
Oh, there's more than that. It's more than that. Kickstarter is going to become a very flooded platform. All of these independent comic books that had small publishing as a home that don't have Diamond right now are going to have no choice but to make money somehow. And that's going to come through crowdfunding. So I think it's going to be a very oversaturated place. You're already seeing it. So.
Yes, I just saw.
And I don't think it's just going to be limited to small guys. I think Marvel will start adapting it. I think DC will. I think Image already has to a certain degree. So has Boom Studio. So has Dynamite. So has a variety of other publishers.
I just got something from Oni today, and I was like, for the first time, I was like, I'm actually back Oni on a Kickstarter.
See? Exactly.
Because they got me with the Rick and Morty Omni bust.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a very crowded place. It's gonna be like what blows my mind, right, is how competitive it is in the comic book market when the comic book market is sinking. There are so many creators. I think there's more people making comics right now than there are people backing comics, if that makes any sense to you.
And
I don't know why, because there's not a big pull for it. The only reason why I'm doing it is because I've been here for 10 years. I'm sort of grandfathered in. But if I was a new guy wanting to make a comic book, I would be questioning myself, why? You know?
I mean, I might just take one of my erotica scripts
Mm-hmm.
and turn that into a comic book, just to use it as a storyboard.
Well, I mean, you can do that, and you can do that easily. You just need to pay someone to draw it for you, unless if you can find someone that will do it on the back end. But usually you're going to pay an artist.
Yeah.
If yours is erotica, then you're going to do very well because Kickstarter very much caters to not safe for work content.
As I'm starting, you see, not safe for work is a very broad in its definition.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I wonder what Kickstarter with not safe for work, when it's like, I wonder how far in the not safe for work pool it goes.
Well, I mean, if you're showing anything nude on the page itself, you got to censor it.
Nude, fellatio.
Yeah. I mean, anything sexual, you got to cover up, but you're allowed to run it, right? Like Kickstarter doesn't have you send you your comic and they go through it page by page. They don't know what the fuck is in it, dude. All they know is what you're presenting on their page. Okay, so you keep it clean. If there is something naughty, put a censor bar over it, and you're good to go.
Okay.
I mean, could you imagine it? Because no one would be on Kickstarter if Kickstarter had to approve and read these comics ahead of time, because people use the platform to make the comic in the first place. Most cases, people who are running a comic book on Kickstarter, they're not even 50% done the book. So it's kind of hard for Kickstarter to review said work when it's not even complete.
That's true.
Yeah.
This is something I've always wanted. How did you get your start with Niobe?
Dude, I've been I was drawing her since I was 16 years old, right? I'm not an artist, but I would play these role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons and things of that nature. And one of them was a game called Heroes Unlimited, which was a superhero role-playing game. And I just made Niobe for that.
Very fond of it, actually.
Yeah, Palladium Books, right?
Yep.
So I made Niobe for that way back in the turbulent years of 1990. And for up until about 2014, she was just a role-playing game character. I would use her in my campaigns as an NPC. Sometimes I would play her as a character. Sometimes she was just, in my own games as a way to guide people around because she was a teleporter. I could easily move the group from one place to the next if I needed to. But what happened was I got back into comic books around that time. Right? 'Cause for a while, I had quit comics. I had quit collecting. I had sold off most of my first collection. I had a few things left over, but not much. And then I was in the comic book shop one day, and I was hardcore into Magic the Gathering at the time. I kind of went from comics into Magic. And then I walk by and I see New Mutants, Volume 3, Issue 1. And it was like Magic on the cover. Magic's my girl. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't bought a comic in like 10 years. I'm going to buy a comic book, right? And I fucking bought this comic book. And then I went back next week and God damn it, I bought a couple more. And next thing you know, I'm fucking back into this, right? And that led me going to comic conventions. And so I go to comic conventions and I find this place called Artist Alley. And it's all these guys and girls, and they're drawing pictures and like they're drawing mostly mainstream stuff. But I found out if I asked them and showed them my character, they would draw it for money. Right. So I started getting all these commissions done. And this is
Nice.
yeah, and this is even before I even thought about doing the comic. I was just getting other people to draw her so I could have like a really nice rendition of my character for these role-playing games, right? Instead of my, chicken scratch. But what ended up happening was I got to see how she would look through the eyes of a professional artist. And I go, you know what? There's a comic book here. We can do a comic book. You know what I mean? And so I don't have no idea how I'm going to pay for it or how I'm going to get this done. But God damn it, she looks awesome by these artists who are drawing her. I'm talking like Nick Bradshaw's drawing her, fucking Jamie Tyndall is drawing her, fucking like I can go through a list of mountain of people, right? And I'm just like, I got to do this. And so I wrote a script and then I printed it out, right? On my, bubble inkjet printer. And I walked around the local con with the script and I started talking to local artists and said, hey, look, I got this comic book idea. I said, here's the thing, we would have to do all this on the back end. Like, whatever we make on the Kickstarter, we would have to split. And, if we print more comics, split those, blah, blah, blah. And I found two guys willing to help me out. One guy did all the covers and the gray shading, and the other guy did the actual line work. Well, we got the comic made. We put it out. We got 69 whole backers. I raised a whole $2,000 Canadian. None of us made any fucking money at all. Right. And they decided that they didn't want to continue, rightfully so. I mean, there was no money in it, at least at
Yeah.
that time. And so it was just like a project that we did for fun. We each got, I think, $600 out of the deal, and that was it. Not even enough to cover the cost, right? Or the time or effort that it took to make it. But it was made and it existed. And then I decided I was going to keep it going regardless if these guys were going to help me or not. So I found a different artist and I started, doing another Kickstarter and we started raising a little bit more money. And I was working and I was paying for a lot of things out of pocket, but we made number 2. And then we made number 3. And then we made number 4. And each one that we made kept going up in backer count and money. And then when we got to 2019, took a year off. And then in 2020, I came back with Niobe, but this time we were no longer in black and white. We were no longer dealing with local artists. I had started hiring professionals because at this point we were starting to make a little bit of money. I could afford to do it. And so once we went to color, once we started hiring professionals, boom, next thing you know, we're getting offers from Antarctic Press. We're being published. We're in stores. Our Kickstarters are growing. Instead of doing $2,000 campaigns, I'm doing $20,000 campaigns, So it grew from that.
That's
But
awesome.
it took 11 years. You know what I mean?
That's that's awesome. So I guess the lesson to someone who's crazy enough to get into this industry in this day and age.
Well, I mean, it's crazy and it's expensive. And there's like so little room for success, right? Like you will have, let's say there's 10,000 people out there making a comic book right now, right?
Okay.
Out of those 10,000, how many do you think is really going to make it into something special?
See, 10,000. I'm gonna say maybe. I'll say a couple hundred.
I will give it even less than that. I would say maybe 20.
All right, Seth. If you're talking something super special that will one day,
I'm talking
take the
stuff
world
that
by
eventually is
storm?
going to be a movie, a TV show, a fucking video game that you're gonna love, that's gonna be more than just someone's crowdfunded comic book that they made for $2,000. I'm talking about how many of these people that are really out there trying, because everyone thinks they have the next big thing. This is my point, right? You have
Yep.
10,000 people all thinking they're the next Alan Moore or the next Jim Lee or they got the next big hit idea. My message
And
to those
to
people
me,
is you
so
have a better chance of winning the lottery.
yeah,
Okay.
actually, I actually think, and people in chats, they can hate. Yes, I'm the bad guy. You need people like me to sit there and point your fucking fingers and say that's the bad guy.
Or Razor
But
Ramon.
yep. And before Razor Ramon, Tony Montana,
Yeah,
Scarface,
that's it.
one of the greatest movies of all time.
So I mean, it's not to be a downer on anyone, but it's very hard to make a real break in this business.
Like I
Like
said,
I'm nowhere close to it, right? Like
yeah,
I'm sort of. Go ahead.
indie comics and OnlyFans have a lot in common.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's
Uh,
lots of people on OnlyFans that are
yeah,
sort of
there's
floundering there
people who just,
too.
ooh, I'm going to become famous, and
Right.
I'm going to become the next Wicked contract
Right.
girl, and I'm going to have money and
Right.
rainbows. And,
Everyone's looking for a way to make money without having to do a real job in this day and age, right?
or
Some people think
anyone
that's
wants to be,
comics. Some
yeah,
people think that's OnlyFans. Some people think that is trying to become the next PewDiePie, whatever it is.
yeah. My whole thing is bringing this back to, since we both have a love of professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants to become the champion without paying any dues.
Well, this is it, right? They all think they can walk in like Logan Paul and sort of get main event billing, but the thing is, Logan Paul came in already as a star, right?
Yeah,
But if you're the kid off the block who's been training at Killer Kowalski's camp for 9 years, and then all of a sudden you get a break in the indies, and maybe you're wrestling some really small shows, you're a long way away, son, from the WWE. And even if you got to
people
the
don't realize it
WWE,
took someone like a Brian Danielson, whatever the fuck he's calling himself nowadays.
yeah,
Took him almost 20 years to get to that first run he had,
right.
10 years ago as a main eventer.
We look at AJ Styles, busting his ass, initially in WCW for a small stint. He did
Yep.
most of his work in TNA. Finally,
Like,
gets to WWE, but he's sort of at the tail end of his career by the time he really, really made it,
yeah, I mean, before CM Punk, who blew up in 2011, before
Yeah.
then, that was like 10 years. That took him 10 years to get to that.
Yeah, I mean, people had heard of him, much like they probably heard of AJ Styles. If you were paying attention to wrestling, you sort of heard those names, especially if you watched TNA or Ring of Honor. You heard
Yeah.
those names. But if you were just a WWE guy, yeah, you had no clue who they were.
Exactly. And that I know. So, as a comic book publisher, what are some of the things in today's current comic book market that make you scratch your head, go, where the fuck am I in this industry?
The drama. I mean, that's
Is
sort of the
it-
biggest problem, right? Is all the creators are fighting against each other, me included. I think the reason why is because they know it's a competitive space, and that the readership is dwindling, and that manga is kicking our ass, and that Diamond went bankrupt, and that comic books are getting pricier, and that people are starting to realize as they get older, they look around their house and they go, you know what? I got too much junk here. I don't need all this shit. You know what I mean? There's lots of things I see with the comic book industry, which is pointing towards its downfall.
I agree with that 110%. The drama, especially, whether it's on the YouTube front, whether it's on the dealer front.
Well, look, it's all over Twitter, it's all over Instagram, right? There's drama on Facebook. Like, don't limit it to just this one little community that we have.
No. I just went to the place where I am the most first.
Yeah.
Which is, but I see it everywhere, and I've even seen it happening live at conventions.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, eventually something's going to happen at one of these cons. Like someone is going to piss off the wrong person, or someone's going to have said something online to someone, and People think it's a big world, but it really is a small world, you know?
It's myopic. All right, that's my $5 word for the day. I'll stop trying to pretend to be smart.
Right?
You know, someone who came up with a stupid catchphrase like "awesome sauce" and stole Devon Dudley's "testify" for crying out loud. Now I'm trying to sound smarter than I am for Pete's sake.
Well,
You
I
know,
mean, wrestling is all about thievery, right? I mean, there was a Nature Boy before the Nature Boy Ric Flair. You know, it was the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers.
Buddy
You know what I'm
Rogers,
saying?
man.
So everyone's stealing gimmicks from each other. You know.
That's true. So, is there anything in right now you think that's because you, my friend, are Mr. Marvel Rivals? Do you
I
think
love the
that's one
game.
of
It's
the
a great
things in the
game.
right step to start to try to get comic books back on track?
Well, I mean, it's an entry point for a lot of people, right? If you're 14 years old and you're playing Marvel Rivals, and then all of a sudden you see Jeff Delandshark and you like Jeff Delandshark, or you're playing Luna, or you're playing Magic, or name any character. The great thing, at least about that game, is it's a door opener, right? You get to see these characters and immerse yourself in these characters, and maybe that leads you to the comics because the game does tell you where they appear in the comics, their first appearances, and they give you a lot of lore in the game that you can read up. So
I do love the fact that when they do announce they show up a new skin, that they give you the first appearance of where the skin comes from, which I thought was really cool. I've seen a lot of new people who are young who are asking me for books related to the game, which I think is cool. I mean, it's even bounced over to Funko Pops and action figures.
what's that now?
The Hyper Marvel Rivals is even bounced over to me for like Funko Pops.
Oh, look at J.
action
Scott
figures, all
Campbell,
those
right?
collections.
Sold out his Marvel Rival covers in 8 minutes. 8
I got
minutes.
put on a fucking waiting list, and the one I
Right?
really wanted, I just really wanted to.
So do I think it's going to expand into Funko Pops and everything else? Hell yes, I do. Of course it will.
Well, yeah, I know that they announced that they were doing an item Marvel Rivals Funko Pops.
What's that now?
I know they said they were definitely dropping Marvel Rivals Funko Pops at
Of
some
course they
point
will.
during the year.
I mean, if you don't put out a Funko Pop of Jeff the Land Shark, you're throwing away money. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised that like one of the major pizza chains has not gotten the Marvel and Disney and tried to do a promotion with Jeff the Land Shark.
It's coming.
Just because every time I see him on the cover now, he's always got something to do with pizza. What
Pizza. I like
I
pizza.
don't know.
I
What
wish
do you
I could
think
have
the appeal
pizza.
of Jeff the Land Shark is? Because there's times when I get it and there's times I don't.
Jeff the Land Shark in the game, he's a healer. I mean, I don't know what he is in the comics. He was what, Gwenpool's pet or some shit. But in the video game, he's your
He's like
healer.
the pass on pet shark.
Yeah,
in the
yeah. He
comics,
follows
pretty
you
much.
around in the game and he fucking heals you. That's what he does. And he can chomp people too. He can like swallow people whole and spit them out.
Yes.
It's like Jaws.
I'm just waiting
It's
for
like a
Disney to
baby
make my Jeff the
Jaws.
Land Shark plush.
Man, I've seen people make those plushies already, just rocking it in, man. You know what I mean? You go to the next convention and tell me if you don't see a table full of Jeff the Land Shark plushies somewhere. You know,
Oh look, I gotta figure out what the next big show I'm gonna be at.
right?
Because the one that's just like a monthly swap of collectibles. And doesn't have anyone that cool who makes homemade stuff like that even.
So I gotta answer this message.
You know. So you're in the Magic. Have you seen that New Mutants movie?
I did.
What did you think of it?
I thought Anna Joy Taylor was the best part as Magic. I thought the rest of it was not up to par for what New Mutants should have been. I mean, if I was Marvel right now and I'm casting X-Men, and I understand that they probably want new faces and stuff, but I would grab Anna Joy Taylor as Magic immediately.
No, I agree because she was the MVP of the movie. I kind of liked whoever played the Native American chick.
So the Native American chick, that's Danny Moonstar.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was blanking out her name for a second. Yeah, I thought her and Danny Moonstar were the two best parts of the movie, and everything else was kind of like meh.
Yeah. I mean, who else did they have? And they had the Game of Thrones girl, right? Macy Williams playing Wolfsbane.
Yep.
And then they had
Which
that
wasn't
the guy that's playing Sam. He was from fucking Stranger Things.
Of course, because whenever they never need a young kid, they just go to their cast and pilfer them.
But I mean, overall, it was okay. I guess. I mean, it was a typical sort of Fox X-Men ish sort of movie.
You could tell at that point the Fox ran out of money at some point, or they saw the merger coming at that point.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just put this out just to have it out in the world. So, who do you think Sadie the chick from Stranger Things that just got put in the Spider-Man 4, who do you think she's playing?
She's playing Mary Jane. That's already been circulated.
All right. I owe someone $10 in a beer.
I mean, it would have been great if it was some other character, but it's got to be Mary Jane at this point, right?
No, because I know Marvel was eyeing her for Jean Grey.
Well, there's a lot of dumb reports out there that people just make up. Like I've seen, like Jenna Ortega is offered a Marvel role, Sadie Sink's offered a Marvel role, Margaret Robbie's offered a Marvel. It's all bullshit. Okay, until it's official, it's all bullshit, right? So Sadie Sink is official, and it looks like in the part that's not official is who she's playing, but strong leaning is Mary Jane. I mean, it's not Mary Jane. Who is it going to be? Because they picked her for her red hair, right? So it's got to be a red hair character.
She picked her because she's a ginger goddess.
Right. And so it's not like you're going to have your ginger goddess and then dye her hair blonde and have her play Gwen Stacy. That's not what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So of course she's playing.
As a lifelong Gwen Stacy fan, I would have no problem if they had Gwen be a redhead.
Yeah, but I mean, they won't though. If Sadie Sink was playing Gwen, they would dye her beautiful red hair blonde.
Which would suck.
Right. So we know she's not playing a blonde, right? They picked her because of that red hair. And you have to go, well, who in Spider-Man has beautiful red hair? Right? There's only really two guesses. There's Mary Jane, and then you can go very obscure and go Firestar.
All right. Was that the reason why you were making that a thing in one of the chats last week?
What's that?
I saw you saying, let's get Firestar trending.
Right. Because if it is Firestar, and it very well could be, until it's official, we don't know. But Firestar, first appeared in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, the cartoon. And then her first appearance is Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends #1, the comic book. And then since then, she's sort of become an on-again, off-again X-Men and Avenger. They sort of, don't really know what to do with her. But if they put her in the movie, in any movie, whether it's this movie or some other movie, that's going to fly. That book's going to go. I bought mine for, was it $25 or something?
I think I bought a couple copies for like 10, 15 at a convention in New York last year.
So it's a low key, but I mean, it only takes her to appear in a movie once and the movie be cool for that to be something a little bit higher end,
No, I agree. And she's going to bring her Stranger Things fan base with her, so.
Yeah, and this is assuming she's playing Firestar. If she's playing Mary Jane,
I was still holding out hope that because depending on where in the timeline, because I heard that Spider-Man 4 is supposed to be the lead in the Secret Wars, and that they're going to have Jean Grey have a cameo in Spider-Man 4. How true this is, I don't know, because the comic book movie dirt sheets is almost as reliable.
There's no way you're going to see Jean Grey in Spider-Man 4. You're not going to see any X-Men in Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, like I said, that's a long shot, but that's just me
The
being a
X-Men
fan.
will come after the Fantastic Four movie and not before.
All right.
Mark my words on that.
I agree. It's me being hopeful that
Because
no,
the
but if she
Fantastic
pulls
Four
off
is
an
what's
amazing,
gonna the Fantastic Four is what's gonna open the door to the X-Men.
yep. And I don't know. I have mixed thoughts of how Fantastic Four is going to play in theaters. I saw the trailer during Captain America: Brave New World, and I was impressed and not impressed at the same time. I'm not buying Pedro as Reed yet. And I may be blind. I'm not that fucking blind. Vanessa Kirby looks old. She looks old. A little old to be playing Sue Richards, man.
What's that now?
Vanessa Kirby looks a little oldish to be playing Sue.
I think she's fine. I have to see the movie though. I mean,
You haven't seen the trailer yet?
seen the trailer, but you can only get so much from a trailer, right? Like I watched the trailer for The Electric State, thought it was going to be a great movie. Watched it the other night, total dog trash. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, that sucks.
I mean, that's just my opinion. You might watch it and love it, right? But
Yeah,
for
that's
me, I thought it was going to be more like an iRobot, deep thinking man versus machine movie. But what it was an 80s kids adventure movie.
Interesting.
Like a modern day Goonies with kids and robots. And Chris Pratt being the adult, you know?
All right. Now, I guess I just saw that they're gonna remake the Goonies.
Yeah, I mean, they've been
For
talking
some
about
weird reason, like I don't
remaking
think
the Goonies for a while. I mean, they talked about making a lot of these remakes for these old 80 movies for a while.
Goonies to me is one of those things that doesn't need a freaking remake. The original was awesome. I don't know about you, but there's times I think we've creatively been in the shit bowl for a long time when it comes to movies and TV and comics. It just seems like we seem to regurgitate a lot.
Sorry, I've got two things going on here at once.
Not a problem.
Niobe businessman, it never stops.
Yep.
Got my colorist messaging me. I got talking with you. I'm in a little online battle on Twitter. I'm debating when I'm getting up to go to the washroom again. You know.
Yep. You know, you're battling on Twitter. No, to anyone who's watching this and the rewind, I will not bore you people with more Kumbaya tonight. I sang Kumbaya last night. It didn't go over well.
Well, what happened? What happened? Tell me.
I was just saying Kumbaya, and I just thought to myself, like, I'm never doing that again. Because we were having problems getting a video to upload last night.
Right.
You know, for one of my sponsors, and just while my producer was trying to figure it out. So my Wednesday producer has downs, so it takes them longer to do some things at times.
Right.
And you know, so I just started going, "We're gonna get strippers, my lord! Oh, kumbaya!" And I was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that again." After I couldn't keep the key. That's what happens when you know. I remember myself why I only lasted 2 weeks in high school course. Yeah. So, what do you got on the Kickstarter docket at the moment?
I'm sorry. What's this now?
What do you have on your Kickstarter docket at the moment? What are you working on getting funded?
Oh, well, it's already funded. We're just sort of in demand right now. which means the campaign is over. But if you missed out, people can still come and back it. Mind you, everything has been increased in price by 10% because you're late. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But it's going to be ongoing for another 3 weeks or so. But we're already funded. But what it is Niobe Outbreak 4. It's the fourth issue in our 5-part miniseries.
That's awesome. What is Niobe Outbreak?
So there is a superpower being who is spreading a disease around. Um, and she knows she's doing it and she doesn't care. And the disease will make people very sick, much like COVID. In some cases, may even kill them. But in very select cases as well, it can activate the genetic anomaly within a person and activate them into a superpower being, which makes this genome
Interesting.
very dangerous because she's out there spreading her plague and she doesn't care. She thinks she's the goddamn messiah, bringing evolution to humankind by involving them. She thinks by making them sick, if they die, well, the weak die, and if they become superpowers, well, guess what? The mighty shall rule the earth, sort of mentality.
That sounds like
And it's Niobe's problem to sort of stop her, you know. But there are other invested parties. There are people that want to capture her and use her for their own interest and gains, and she's got her own things that she wants to do. And there are people who follow her like she's a cult leader, you know, and they believe. There are people who are trying to find her to become sick intentionally in the hopes that they will get superpowers.
very, very cool concept.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sure stuff like this has been done before, but it is what it is. You know, I do. If someone wants to understand Niobe, female X-Men,
Nice.
they're all female.
Awesome
Female X-Men.
sauce.
I mean, it really is just that. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I mean, one day, you know, maybe I hope to. I get to write the X-Men. Maybe
I would
this is
hope
sort of
so.
like my love letter to them. You know what I mean?
Nice.
You know,
Why is the X-Men your favorite?
there's just a lot of variety within the X-Men. A lot of cool characters, a lot of good interaction. I love the idea of the school for gifted youngsters where they go to train to become who they're going to be, and that you have the older X-Men and you have the younger cats like the New Mutants or an X-Force type. Um, there are so many doors and possibilities that you can tell with the X-Men. That's really harder to do with, say, like a single character because of the team dynamic. You got so much more going on. And they're not as sort of cheesy as, say, like the Avengers or the Justice League, which seem to be like more like gods, you know, like titans, where the X-Men are sort of like the miscreants, the outcasts, the rebel rousers. You know, they're not Superman, they're not Captain America, they're not prime and pristine. They're gritty, they're sometimes dark, you know, like a Wolverine on a bad day. You know.
Yeah, just said they had a whole group subgroup that lived in the sewers of New York. For crying out loud!
Well, this is it. Though. Well, those
I
are the
always enjoyed the
Morlocks.
Morlocks.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, those are the Morlocks. Great stories with the Morlocks. You know, when Storm sort of took them over and became
Yep.
the de facto leader, and you know, this is all during like when she didn't have her powers, right? And she was Mohawk Storm, and you know,
Just great stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing how they get integrated into the MCU piece by piece.
well, it's going to be a rush job unless if they want to invest another 10 years into this. You know what I mean?
So I don't think the current group of fans are gonna want to wait another 10 years, unfortunately.
Well, I'm talking about 10 years to build it up properly, right? They can
Yeah.
introduce the X-Men at any point, but it took 10 years for us to get to know the Avengers through 3 Iron Man movies and 3 or 4 Captain America movies and you know, the TV shows, the Agents of Shield and everything else. I mean, all that stuff connects. If you want to do the X-Men properly, much in the way that you did the Avengers, then it kind of requires that. I mean, you need like your Wolverine solo movie and you're going to need your Jean Grey story. You're gonna need to know how Professor X came about. You know?
Yeah, because I thought they did a great job with X-Men '97.
Yeah, great show. Um,
And there's also a great audio drama series on YouTube. I'm a big fan of called X-Men the Audio Drama. Yeah, because I do a lot of motion comics for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
One of these days, hopefully maybe put a comic book out in Braille, but I'm trying to look at. It's not the most cost-effective thing to do in the world. One day.
Yeah, I mean, we're still a while from the next season of X-Men 92, or sorry, 97. Like we're not even gonna see that,
Next
Time to
year.
Believe, yeah, like 2026.
Yeah.
That's too long, right? I mean, that's too long. It's like House of the Dragon. I really love House of the Dragon, but we've been waiting forever for the next season of that. It's too long.
Is it
I
been
understand.
I think that's been like stuck in 2 years now too already.
What's that?
Isn't it? Haven't we been waiting like 2 years for season 2 already?
Yeah, it's been season 3 now. I think that we're sort of rolling into.
All right. Like I said,
but it's been a while. Yeah, I mean,
so like I said, it's just the way it is. Hey, my brother, I'm gonna let you go.
all right, man. I'll jump out, and you have a good night, brother.
You have a great night,
right,
everyone.
peace out.
Niobe Comics, the Comic Rebel.
Yeah, go back Niobe on Kickstarter now.
Yeah.
All right, peace out, bro.
Peace, man. Okay, everybody. That was Awesome Sauce Radio for tonight. I'd like to thank Niobe Comics for hanging out with me tonight. Please find them on Kickstarter and back Niobe Comics. Also, would like to thank the official pizzeria of Awesome Sauce Radio. That's the Marco's Pizza, 1926, Union Deli Road, New Jersey, 07421 973-728 1344. Tell them Awesome Sauce Radio sent you. Get yourself some free garlic nuts. Garlic nuts are they're an orgy of butter and garlic in your mouth. They look like ball sacks for some reason, but that's besides the point. And you just go stick them in your mouth like a oh baby garlic nuts. Yeah, fuck with garlic nuts. But the Marco's Pizza, thank you for sponsoring the show. 1926 Union Deli Road, New Jersey, 07421 973-728 1344. Also, I'm gonna wait to get this officially. So I know it was on Maitland's Facebook. But if you want to meet Rachel from Boy Meets World at the Garden State Comic Fest in June, Maitland Ward is there. I'm going to talk to my good friend Dave and try to get some confirmation on that. But Garden State Comic Fest, you can follow Maitland Ward on Instagram, Twitter, OnlyFans, all the good stuff. I think she'll be my starlet at the month April. We're making some changes around here starting April 1st. If you could please send me some positive healing energy for tomorrow for the whole start of the cataracts thing. I appreciate that. Remember, you don't need set to have a vision. It's not what happens to you do about it. I love you all. Bye now, I'm out. And Chester Fry and Kitty Sprinkles.
Bannerland. Skipped, clickable, awesome, clickable, complimentary, clickable button info, beta, out of list, mainland, graphic QR code, clickable.
Fuck your QR codes.
Blind Adam, host, live, clickable 0, mic is muted, clickable toggle, clickable button collapse, button having it, post, graphic YouTube, button star clickable, button show comment link, Niobe Comics 8:01 p.m. Out of, but awesome soft clickable button edit live, clickable button cancel, clickable button pause, clickable complimentary, clickable button info, beta, clickable button new scene, heading left banner landmark, clickable button pause, clickable button restart, end stream, outro, clickable, button set outro, button not yet, button end stream,